was it yesterday for the board to get as one to make this decision that I think a lot of us felt was imminent or inevitable?
I think the board wanted to give it as much consideration as the subject deserved, really. Dismissing a coach is never easy. We've got a great board who consider every issue very diligently and do their job properly. And as I said, dismissing a coach is never easy, and they want to give themselves enough time, give it appropriate consideration before coming to a unanimous decision.
Did results speak for themselves that you just couldn't keep going down the same path you were going down?
Yes.
Like what happened between the first meeting yesterday morning and the last meeting to lead to the decision?
Yeah, I think Jason had presented the board with some information in the morning, and the board wanted to give that some consideration. It was a fairly extensive document, and in fairness to Jason, they wanted to give that some consideration. Our chairman's in London at the moment for business, so unfortunately we probably would have reconvened a bit earlier, but not many people making great decisions at 2 a.m, so he needed to have a sleep, and then we could reconvene later in the evening when he'd awoke.
Was JD still fighting for his job at that point?
Yeah, JD, like any coach, thought that he was able to turn performances around, and that with a few more players on deck and with a few changes to the team and the game style, that we would regain our form.
Like 2 weeks ago, you considered sacking JD, you didn't do it. You play one game against Melbourne, albeit a poor performance.
Yep.
But it was one game. Why did it change so dramatically after one game?
I think our view was that the one game was indicative of probably an inability to turn it around, and that we needed to make a quick decision. Unfortunately, we didn't think that Jason's coaching style would be able to get the change we needed or the improvement we needed, and given that we sit at 17th of the table and our for and against is 50 points worse than 16th, I think now was the time to make the change.
Can you understand people looking at this and thinking this club's a bit of a rabble at the moment?
Yeah, I think rabble might be a strong word, but I can understand. I can understand that it hasn't been a particularly consistent or smooth sailing over the last few weeks. So, but we've tried to support the coach and tried to give him as much of our backing as we could. But I think over the weekend, everyone realised that change was needed, and unfortunately, the change had to be Jason.
Like, I know you're not a coach, but when you say you felt that JD's coaching style wasn't going to fix it, what do you think the downfalls were in terms of that coaching style?
Look, first of all, I want to say that Jason's an incredibly hard-working coach. He's a good person. We've worked together for 5.5 years. Very strong values and a great family man. But in our view, we just felt that the style of play and probably Jason's management of the players needed to change. And that's no criticism of his work ethic or how hard or how much effort he's put in. But we just felt that we needed a change in management.
His agents came out this morning and said he was treated poorly, treated shabbily. How do you respond to that?
I don't agree.
In what respect?
I think that Jason spent 3 years here as an assistant coach. Was appointed to succeed Wayne very early on in his tenure as an assistant. The club gave Jason every single opportunity to have success, and for half of that period here he did. But results over the last 12 months haven't been good enough for a club of our stature, and whilst it's no criticism of Jason how hard he works, the last 20 games sort of speak for themselves, and for his agent to say that he's been treated shabbily in the context of a year's worth of patience and support, I think is unfair, and I'm not sure that Jason would share that view.
Like when you talk about managing the players, can you just clarify that? Are you referring to stuff last year about management of high-profile players as well?
No, I'm talking about the whole of the squad and ensuring that every player in the squad can perform at their best on the NRL stage.
Like, had Jason lost simplicity?
No.
You were confident in all players that were in the coach?
Yep.
Did you consult players?
No.
You spoken to players this morning about this year?
No, straight after this I'm going in to speak to the players. Spoke last night with the captain, and we told the players by text. Ideally we would have been able to tell them yesterday in person, but they weren't here, so we'll talk to them today and allow them the opportunity to ask any questions.
What will that message be to the players?
I think the message will be to the players that, again, like I've said before about Jason and his work ethic and his character and his courage, that's not in question, but we felt that we needed a change in coaching style to get the best out of this playing group. That we'll run a pretty exhaustive process now to try and find the best possible coach for this playing group and for the club in 2025. And that I think everyone at the club, including themselves, would expect that win, lose or draw tomorrow night against Penrith, that we put in a performance that befits the club and our character and our fighting spirit.
Is Wayne at the top of the list, Blake?
Wayne's one of the coaches that we'll talk to. Wayne had great success here, left the club on very good terms, and we'll speak to Wayne, and if he's available and interested, certainly we'll progress that.
Have you spoken to him yet?
No.
What do you want in your next coach?
I think we want someone who fits this playing group and can get the best out of them. It's a unique playing group, having worked with them for a long period of time, and we want, I think, a coach that can get them to perform at their best consistently, and we want, I think, a coach that understands the values and the heritage and the history of this club. That's going to be really important.
Unique in what way?
In terms of the playing group, I think every playing group's unique, but we've got great skills, great athleticism, and some great personalities in the team. And every head coach has to get the best out of them, whether it's Ivan Cleary, what he does at Penrith over a long period of time, or Wayne over his track record with a number of clubs. The best coaches always get the best out of their playing group.
Is it fair to say that the next coach that gets the job has to be an experienced coach, given where this club is right now, given where this club wants to set itself and calling itself a club?
I think they'll be experienced. They don't necessarily have to be experienced coaching in the NRL, but they've got to have experience. We're not going to go with a coach who hasn't coached first team football before.
Given that Wayne's obviously had proven that he gets the best out of Cody in Montreal, like, does that sort of add more weight to you guys wanting to bring him back because you know that of all the coaches out there, Wayne's proven that he does that with these guys?
Yeah, it's a strong consideration.
Like, if the club had its time over again, would you have gone ahead with the extension for JD last year?
I think at the time, Jason and his management were very keen to upgrade and extend. At the time, we were top of the table and considered to be premiership favourites. So we felt it was important, given that we were a premiership threat, and we felt that we had a campaign and a squad ready to go and hopefully win that premiership, that we gave Jason the security that he felt he deserved.
The suggestions that the board's not completely seeing eye to eye on a few things from private owners. Can you clarify that? You had to have two separate board meetings yesterday. Are they completely seeing eye to eye on these major decisions for the club going forward?
I think the fact that the decision was unanimous shows that they are seeing eye to eye on the decision. But I don't think any board that doesn't give something like this the due consideration and the discussion it deserves isn't doing their job. And our board's always been wonderful at discussing things and considering what options are on the table and coming to a unanimous decision, and that's a sign of a great board, not a sign of a board that's dysfunctional.
Like, there's been plenty of personal criticism of you. Why are you the right man to stay at the helm of this club?
Look, I think over an 8-year period I've shown that both on and off the field we've built a very strong club here, and hopefully the board will allow me to continue to do that. I think we've got a pretty strong plan and a strong playing group that will be able to turn results around on the field very quickly. But again, if I wasn't the right person to do it, the board would be pretty quick to let me know. And I'm here as a servant of the club, really, and very privileged to hold this position. So if I wasn't the right person for it, I wouldn't expect to be around for too long.
Like, we talk about first-team experience as a coach. Does that mean Ben is not an option for this club after this year?
I'm not even sure if Ben's interested. So we'll probably find out. I spoke to Ben quickly last night, but I'm not sure if Ben's interested. We'll have that conversation with him.
What is the expectation from Ben this season? What's the expectation from Ben for the rest of the season?
I think there's 2 or 3 really clear expectations for Ben. We want to see improvement in terms of results and performances on the field. We want to give Ben and the coaching staff the time to develop some of our younger players who we're starting to see come through. Jai Gray is a perfect example of that. Hopefully guys like Jai, Tyrone, when he comes back from injury, Peter can play a lot more NRL football this year. And again, I think we want Ben and the coaching staff and the players to hold themselves and carry themselves in a way that represents our club in the best possible way and gives our community and our fan base the pride that they deserve.
Like, looking ahead to like a crystal ball scenario, if it was Wayne, let's say, and it was a 2-year contract, obviously Sam, veteran of the club, coaching Warrington, have you got an interest in how he goes, and can you see a world in which he comes back here as an assistant at some point?
I don't really know what Sam's plans are. Sam, I think, has a 2-year contract at Warrington, and we'd have built up a lot of respect for Simon and Stuart and Carl and the group at Warrington and the team, so we wouldn't want to disrupt that. And my view is it's Sam's opportunity to show the world that he can coach, and we wish him every success with that.
Is it a matter of urgency you get your next coaching appointment for 2025 sorted? Do you want it sorted in the next 2 to 4 weeks, or how long are you prepared to run this process for?
We'll take as long as it needs to, but we'd prefer to have it done in weeks, not months. Sorry? No. Sorry, do you mean for the... No, no one at the club approached Mel.
Like, what about...
Any other changes at the club, or is it simply just get a new coach and that problem solved?
No, I think clearly the most important item for us is to get the head coach. But like anything in football, we'll review everything over this period of time, and clearly whoever the new head coach is will have an opinion on staff and programs and processes. So once the new head coach is appointed, we'll sit down with whoever that is and make the necessary changes to give them the best chance of success.
Like, what about the Lewis Dodd signing? I mean, the club's going to sign Lewis Dodd. Mark Ellison's over him at the moment, looking for other players.
Yep.
You're now going to have a change of coach. What happens if the new coach doesn't want Lewis Dodd?
First of all, we haven't quite signed Lewis yet. We're close, but we're hopeful.
Yeah.
But I think over time at this club, we've been pretty strong in that the coach has an influence over recruitment and retention, but they don't have the final say. And that between Mark, myself, the head coach, and Peter, our CFO, we sit together and work out which sort of player we want to target. So the head coach will be signed after we've signed Lewis, and if they're not comfortable with Lewis, if we do get him, they probably shouldn't be the head coach.
Like, just on the recruitment and retention, upon reflection, do you regret letting Adam go? Not only the player on field, but the leadership.
Of course, we regret Adam going. It would have been great. Sorry, no, we didn't let Adam go. We made Adam an offer, and Adam wanted a longer term. So we were very happy to have Adam stay here, but Adam, for his own reasons, and particularly family and financial security, which no one can ever argue with, decided to take the longer term offer that was on in Brisbane. But we wanted Adam to stay.
Okay, so do you regret giving him an extra year? Looking at an extra year?
We weren't in a position at the time to do it in the salary cap restraints we had. So it's hard to regret something you don't really have control over.
Like, do you still think, like, you're a long way at the moment from being a free team that can play finals, but do you think the club and Ben Hornby can turn it around now and make something of the season?
We certainly think we can make something this season. Whether or not that results in a top 8 berth, I'm not sure. But I know the character of this team. I know what they're like, and they'll be up for the challenge. And if we can get our players back on the field sooner rather than later, I think most teams will be concerned about playing us. And if we can get to the top 8, that'd be wonderful. But really, it's about improvement over the next few weeks. And again, like I said, putting performances on the field that our fans and our community can be proud of.
Like that on Wayne, like, you obviously worked with him, and like, you know what he's like. You like success, and do you think you would like the idea of coming back here and finishing the job that he started, or in 2021 rather?
Yep.
And he's, winning a premiership at such a big club.
I don't know, because I haven't spoken to Wayne in terms of how in depth he would think about our club at the moment, but I do know Wayne likes success. I know he wants to win premierships, and I know he loves the values of the club and what we stand for. I think he's made that pretty clear in his time here and since then about his affection for the club, the ownership, the board, the management team. So, look, we'll certainly be speaking to Wayne because he left the place in very good shape when he left, and he was great while he was here. He got us through a lot of really difficult times during COVID and a bit of a restructure of the playing group when John and Greg and Sam retired. He was a pleasure to work with.
Do you give any consideration, Blake, to David Ferner taking over on an interim basis, or is it always going to be Ben Hornby?
We gave it consideration, but given David's been here for about 2 weeks and Ben's been here 5 years, we thought that given Ben's rapport with the players and his understanding of the club, he was the better person.
If he does want to stay on next year, he does raise that as like an interest. Would you be open to that at all?
We'll have that discussion with Ben, yeah.
Like, how did JD react to this? Obviously, like, there's a lot of external talk. He was funny yesterday. He said it's not easy. So, in the conversation, like, how did he react when you told him the thing with that?
Jason reacted with the class and the character that he's shown in the 5.5 years he was here. There was no blow-ups, there was no anger. He deals with that sort of adversity very well. It's a credit to him. He took the news and that was it.
Could you guys have handled the speculation a bit better? Because it clearly did affect him. He was walking out of his press conferences. Could you have handled the speculation a bit more sensitively?
I don't think we were driving the speculation, to be honest with you. So I think we supported Jason as much as we could behind closed doors. I think the speculation was largely driven by circumstances outside of our control. Clearly our results haven't been good enough, so that's natural. It comes with the territory with a club like ours. But I can certainly say internally we couldn't have been more supportive of Jason and tried to help him achieve the success in some ways his work ethic deserved.
Spoken a lot about how talented this playing group is. Is there pressure on the players now to step up and start delivering on the field?
I think there's always pressure on the players to deliver. That's nothing new. They've got as much passion and love for the club as we do, and hopefully now they've really got a chance to show that on the field starting tomorrow night against Penrith.
Do you expect that they, with a change of coach and everything, a bit of a new era, that there could be a clear out of players, particularly given that there are some aging players in this squad?
I don't think there'll be a clear out. We'll always look at opportunities to strengthen the squad where we can, but I don't think there'll be a mass reboot or clear out of the squad.
Just a question on Latrell. There's reports that he's not going to make himself available for Origin so he can focus on the Bunnies. Is that true? Has he decided yet?
I haven't spoken to him about it. I don't think he's decided yet. I think he's probably giving it some consideration. It's heartening that his focus is on South, which is great, but he'll give that consideration and we'll support whatever decision he comes to.
Like, you know how proud your supporters are, given everything they've been through, the lows and the highs, the lows of late. What's your message to all the Bunnies fans?
My message to the Bunnies fans is always the same, that they ride the highs and they ride the lows. We've been far lower than this before, and the changes we made last night and the changes that we'll make and the appointments we'll make over the next few weeks will see us restore to our best very, very quickly, and also return to our best very quickly. And I don't think it'll be too long before they're able to wear their Bunnies hats and scarves and jerseys around with a great deal of pride. So.